Alright, in this I'm beginning a good little series of videos, which is going to be pretty much the first series of videos I've done on Friedrich Nietzsche. I'm going to be doing basically just a series on Nietzsche's book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. This is pretty much what I would think of as his most popular work. That this is people, in philosophy classes that teach Nietzsche, most of them will teach this, I think. Other ones would be maybe The Birth of Tragedy, or The Genealogy of Morals. But then this one is definitely one that I think is good to know in general. So I guess what I want to do here is I want to kind of give you a preface to the story, talking mostly about Zarathustra's prologue, and the concept of the Übermensch, or the Overman, which was Kaufman's translation of Übermensch, and kind of talk about how this whole thing starts, and then after that, getting into the main part of the book, I will pretty much be doing a video for each little section of these. Like, each section I'll have a video on, unless I choose to omit it for some reason. So, to kind of give a preface for this, Zarathustra is this man that, in the story, is in the mountains and apparently was... and I think it's definitely, you should read this. Read the prologue. Read the preface, or the preface, which I'm not sure if it's called a preface, but that's in this. You have the translator's preface, which I think is also good to read, because Kaufman is a great translator of Nietzsche. But I think it's good to read Zarathustra's prologue, and then, because that's kind of what this is. The whole story is that Zarathustra is in the mountains. He comes down from the mountains, and he encounters a saint, someone who believes in God pretty staunchly, and this saint is talking about how we should all have the true faith in God, and kind of just put our faith in Him as we live our lives. And there's more to this story than what I'm going to discuss here, because I want each video I have here, I want it to be short, and just kind of a little shorter than a normal video of mine normally would be. So he sees the saint, and he says, or Zarathustra says, that God is dead. And I'm going to explain what God is dead means. Another place to find the concept of God is dead is Nietzsche's Gay Science, or the Friedrich Nietzsche. Gay is in like that. It's more like the happy science, I think is what it's called. I have read parts of that, but so he also encounters a acrobat walking a tightrope, and there's a jester which is behind him, kind of cheering, not really cheering him on, but kind of just saying, "Why aren't you going faster? You can do better than this," but kind of almost jeering him rather than cheering him on. And the tightrope walker falls to his death, and Zarathustra comes to the tightrope walker as he's dying, and the tightrope walker says, "My life has been meaningless." And Zarathustra says to him, "No, you made danger your vocation, and that's one of the better things you can do." So then he's kind of shown his way out of this city, because and he says that he's told that he is allowed to live because they laugh at him and they do not take him seriously at all. They laugh at him basically for what he's saying. He's kind of speaking out against religion, speaking out against nihilism. So nihilism, in that we are going to always kind of take whatever meaning that is presented for us to have the least amount of strife, the least amount of pain, and just kind of accept whatever meaning is the easiest. And that therefore he's, and this was when it was written, it was banned for being blasphemy, because this speaks out against religion. And many of his works do. Most of them actually do speak out against religion, and they speak out against Christian religion most specifically, really. And that's why this was banned for being blasphemous. So they send him out of the city, and they don't kill him because they don't take him seriously. So he chooses to not try any further to make people think his way, but to find others who think the same way as him and create a camp, I guess. So I guess to put all this in perspective, he says that man is the bridge between animal and overman, or Übermensch. Übermensch is translated from German to be Superman, but more correctly by Kaufman, Overman, because this is Kaufman. I think is the best. I think it's a really great translation. This is just like the good one, I think. But I read stuff of this book where they kind of translate that word Übermensch differently. But the whole thing here is, I guess I want to explain what Übermensch, or the Overman, is, what God is dead means, and what the whole thing with nihilism is. He sees people accepting religion and sees them basically being man, and just kind of like struggling the very least, and accepting whatever meaning is put before them to be the most comfortable, and just accepting what is most convenient. Where the Overman, or the Übermensch, is about that you overcome all that stuff, and you create your own meaning. You give your own meaning to life. It's pretty interesting, I would say. He kind of just, I teach you the overman, man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him? All beings so far have created something beyond themselves, and do you want to be the ebb of this great flood, and even go back to the beast rather than overcome man? What is the ape to man? A laughing stock or a painful embarrassment. A man shall be just for that for the overman, a laughing stock or a painful embarrassment. You have made your way from worm to man, and much in you is still worm. Once you were apes, and even now, too, man is more ape than any ape. So, Overman, or the Übermensch, is that it's kind of hard to explain, and I will, as I go through this, it'll be easier to see, and as you read these sections and the parts, it'll become more of a clear concept. I think. I read this 2 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, and then now I'm gonna reread this with you, and then every time I read a section, if I every time I read a section, I will do a video on it. But it's about that you're going to give your own meaning to life, and you're not going to just accept whatever is given to you to have the most comfort and to accept the least amount of strife. You want to overcome man, and again, that I can't. It's kind of difficult to explain. But as this is read through, it will become clear. So now to what does God is dead mean? In this and the gay science, what the whole God is dead thing is, it's not saying that God himself is dead, but God or religion as the source of meaning in our lives is no longer the mainly accepted meaning for our life. God or religion is no longer the universally accepted thing that is beyond us, that is beyond us, that gives meaning to our lives. And it's almost like becoming an authentic man and not trying to do something outside of yourself to give meaning to your own life. God is dead. That's saying that, he said that to the saint. He's saying that your God is no longer the universally accepted thing that is for sure the source of meaning and truth. So that's kind of what those three things are, and that's why this is going to be a great series on this channel. I think I'm going to really enjoy doing this with you here on this channel. So I think if you have something that you want to add to this in any of these videos, please comment, because that's the reason I do this, because I want to have better understanding of myself too. And if I do help somebody understand this along the way, then that's also good. Yeah. I don't think if there's any other ways I can kind of discuss that better, but it's kind of not the easiest thing to discuss. But if you think that I should have added something to this little intro to this book, then please tell me, and I'm going to go section by section, video by video, and we'll see where this whole thing takes us. Thank you.